I've been the beneficiary of caring and compassion, beginning very early in my life and throughout my life. And to try to carry that out to other people and the interests of other people has always been a challenge for me. I'm always asking myself, can I do better? Can I do more? Can I respond better to the needs of people in the local communities that we work with here in Atlanta or globally, and to have the opportunity to really impact on the global challenge of the poor and the underserved. It's a good question to ask. What is it that drives some people to compassionate lives, I guess I would say. And it's not an easy answer for me. And I think within my family, within my parents who had 10 children and never made more than $10,000 a year, their focus was always on what can we do for other people. I mean, if we had a good year with crops, we had to carry vegetables to other people in the community and eggs and milk. For them, it was their religion. It was a part of their religious belief had to do with responsibility, not just to love other people, but to act that way. And so I grew up in an environment, in a home where neither of my parents finished elementary school, but they impressed upon us the importance of really caring about and caring for other people. So I first saw it at home on a farm outside of Anniston, Alabama, and came down with whooping cough and then pneumonia. And there was no hospital that would take black children in Alabama at that time. And so there was one doctor, Dr. Jackson, whom my father was able to get to come out to the farm, and came on his off day, apparently, and spent the whole day. And even though he didn't think I was going to survive, he took the time to instruct my parents as to what they could do to give me the best chance of survival. And they must have done a great job, because I did survive. And I think my mother told me that story almost every day. So by the time I was 5 years old, the one thing I wanted to do was to meet Dr. Jackson. And so they promised me that for my 6th birthday, they were going to take me to meet Dr. Jackson. I was really excited about that. I never met him. He died that year of a stroke. He was 54 years old. But by the time I was 6, I was telling everybody that I wanted to be a doctor like Dr. Jackson. And what was in my mind was what he did for me. And so I think I've been driven by that throughout my career. And I've had the opportunity throughout my career to do a lot of work in Africa and India and many other countries throughout the world. I have been very moved by what I have seen in terms of the people who work globally and people who are so committed to helping people throughout the world, especially people who live in some of the most underserved and poverty-stricken environments. I feel very deeply that we all have a major responsibility to respond to the needs of people who are often left out. Even in our very sophisticated health system in this country, with all of its problems, it's amazing how many people get left out. We have a major responsibility, each one of us, to use our influence, to use our abilities to really make a difference for people who tend to be forgotten, who tend to be left out. I think global health has changed. I think some of that's technology, communication. We live in a very interesting world today where people are immediately in contact with other people all over the world. That was not true 25, 30 years ago. We are developing new technologies, new strategies that are going to have a major impact on things like safe water, on things like good nutrition for all people. We're putting in place, I think, systems that can make us more efficient, much more efficient. And at the base, hopefully, of those systems is a caring and compassion that will reflect itself in terms of the outcomes for these people. Yeah, I think individuals with unusual passion and commitment can make a difference in this world. We've seen it over and over again as we've carried out public health initiatives throughout the world. we find people working in areas where they may be only impacting a small number of people, but ultimately they influence what we all do in these areas. So it is important that our students, our fellows and others understand the difference that individuals have made and can still make in the world in terms of carrying out their passion and their commitment. Our young people need to hear the stories. They need to hear the stories of people who had the kind of commitment, the Bill Fagers and others, that led to the eradication of smallpox. People who worked in environments that were very difficult. They certainly didn't have the kind of technology that we take for granted today. And yet that passion led to major change in the world. But it also influenced a lot of other people. And some of those people are on the forefront today of programs that are much more technologically sophisticated and will make dramatic differences in the world